Sonic has tried everything. He wielded a sword, he fell in love with a human, he turned into a werewolf hedgehog fusion thing, and now he's at a space amusement park. Even amidst all the failed experiments, Sonic had a few glimmering moments of success. Nevertheless, Sega seems hell-bent on defining Sonic games with gimmicks. And for all the hype and exposure surrounding them, gimmicks are what ruined Sonic games. That's what I thought, at least, until I played Sonic Colors. Unlike the terrible games that preceded it, Sonic Colors' gimmicks actually enhance the game instead of impeding it. The game understands that all the player wants to do is go fast while watching pretty things happen. Finally, after almost a decade, a Sonic game that gets it right. I mean, they even got the story right. I said in my Sonic Advance 2 review that most Sonic games don't have that elaborate of a story. That's a good thing. Look what happens when there's too much story in a Sonic game. Ugh. In Sonic Colors, less is more. The narrative is enjoyably simple. Eggman has built an interstellar amusement park, quote, out of a sense of remorse for my past transgressions. It might come as a surprise that Sonic and Tails quickly discover Eggman's actually using the park to subdue and exploit the planet of Wisps.
Wisps? No, Wisps, with a W.
It's not so much the plot itself, but the execution that's so memorable. Watching the game's cutscenes, it's like watching a really good Saturday morning cartoon show.
Precious little aliens! I'll harness their hyper-go-on power, and then nothing will stop me. I know I say that every time, but this time, really, nothing will stop me.
The writers obviously wrote the script with a young demographic in mind, but there's definitely some jokes that only adults will get.
The boss man said to wrangle every piece of this mess. When you consider what we're doing from a robot's point of view, it's actually pretty gruesome.
Don't think about it.
So the story's good, but what about the gameplay? There's 7 worlds, each with 6 acts and a boss level. About half the stages are 3D, while the other half 2D. In 3D stages, you're running, drifting, grinding, and enjoying every minute of it. The level design keeps the momentum high. You're rarely forced to stop. Think of it like on-rails running. Oh, and enemies? They're just fodder. So yeah, that's 3D stages. Then there's 2D stages. Yeah. Going into this game, most people assumed that a return to 2D gameplay would reinvigorate the Sonic franchise. It worked for Mario after all. To be fair, seamless transition from 2D to 3D within the same stage works really well. However, like I said, about half of Sonic Colors is exclusively 2D. That wouldn't be so bad, except almost all 2D levels emphasize slow, monotonous, platforming, and puzzle solving. And since Sonic's lost the ability to spin dash, the controls limit you to a cumbersome double jump, and not much else. That is, unless you've got Wisps to help you out. Ah yes, Wisps. a word I really can't pronounce. Unlike the Werehog form in Sonic Unleashed, Wisps don't contradict the desire of the player. Sonic Unleashed Werehog levels meant slow-paced beat-em-up action, which nobody wanted in a Sonic game. The Wisps, on the other hand, enhance the already overwhelming sense of speed and awe. Once Sonic runs through their egg toy dispensers, he essentially gains a superpower for a limited amount of time. So satisfying, man. Wisps make even the 2D levels pretty awesome sometimes. Eight types of Wisps lie in captivity across the game. Once freed, they appear in RDB levels and allow you to access secret areas. So yeah, solid implementation of a gimmick and high replay value. Real quick, bosses are fun but pretty easy, and the two-player Sonic mode, Sonic Simulator, while it's pretty novel, it's kinda It's got good music though. Speaking of good music, this game has some of the best music I've ever heard ever. Ever! Also, these graphics pretty much gave me diabetes. They're so colorful and gorgeous. Some of the best on the Wii, really. Sonic Colors goes to show that a good Sonic game needs balance more than anything. It can't put too much emphasis on story or graphics or gimmicks or 2D levels. It's gotta be a measured concoction of everything. Sonic's future looks bright. Really bright and colorful too, thanks to Sonic Colors. If you've got a Wii, you should play it. It's the best Sonic game in years.